Commander Alex Reeves stood tall as the doors to the Zithrian royal palace swung open. After 6 months of space travel, humanity's first diplomatic mission was about to meet the rulers of the most powerful alien empire known to Earth. "Remember," Alex whispered to his team of 5 diplomats, "follow my lead and smile. We represent all of humanity today." The palace interior glowed with strange blue light. Tall, slender aliens with silvery skin and 4 arms lined the hallway. Their large eyes, 3 on each face, blinked in unison as the humans passed. "They're telepathic with each other," whispered Dr. Chen, the team's xenobiologist, "but not with other species. That's why we need the translators." Alex nodded, touching the small device behind his ear. Earth's best technology, programmed with the Zithrian language basics they had received during first contact. The throne room was massive. Hundreds of Zithrians stood in perfect rows, their bodies draped in shimmering fabrics. At the center, on a raised platform, sat the rulers of the empire. King Zoreth was enormous compared to the others, his silver skin tinged with purple markings. Beside him sat a smaller figure, Princess Kalara, heir to the empire. Her skin had a golden glow, and she wore an elaborate headdress that sparkled under the strange lights. "Approach, humans," the king's voice boomed, translated instantly into Alex's ear. Alex walked forward and bowed deeply. This was the moment every diplomat trained for. First official contact that could shape relations between worlds for centuries. "Great King Zoreth, mighty Princess Kalara," Alex began, his translator converting his words to the musical Zithrian language. "Earth extends friendship to the Zithrian Empire. We come seeking peaceful relations and mutual understanding between our worlds." The king nodded, seemingly pleased. In courage, Alex continued with the formal greeting he had practiced hundreds of times. "As representative of Earth, I offer our highest respect and wish to establish bonds that will join our civilizations in harmony and shared prosperity," Alex said, carefully pronouncing each word as the translator had instructed. The room suddenly went silent, every 3-eyed gaze fixed on Alex. The king's posture stiffened. Princess Kalara stood up from her throne, her 3 eyes wide with shock. The translator in Alex's ear crackled as her voice came through. "You're making me your wife." Alex froze. "I'm... what?" The princess stepped forward, golden skin now flushing the deep orange. "You just spoke the royal marriage proposal. Such words can only be spoken by those of royal blood." Her voice shifted between disbelief and anger. "Are you claiming to be royalty, human?" Guards with long, glowing spears moved to surround the human delegation. Alex's team huddled closer together. "There must be a mistake," Alex said quickly. "Our translators." Silence. King Zoreth's voice thundered through the hall. "You have either insulted the royal family by impersonating nobility, or..." He paused, studying Alex with all 3 eyes. "Or you are indeed of royal blood, in which case the ancient laws must be followed." Alex opened his mouth to explain, but no words came out. The princess approached him, stopping just a few steps away. Her 3 eyes narrowed as she examined his face. "Is this some kind of human trickery, or do you truly seek my hand?" Behind him, Dr. Chen whispered urgently, "Commander, I think we have a serious problem." Alex had never felt more out of his depth. One wrong word might start an interstellar incident, or worse. "Take them to the royal guest quarters while we investigate this matter," the king ordered. As guards escorted them from the throne room, Alex caught the princess staring at him with a mixture of curiosity and something else he couldn't identify. The first diplomatic mission to the stars was not going according to plan. The guest quarters were beautiful, but clearly designed to keep them in. Alex paced the room while his team examined the strange furniture and glowing walls. "It's a translation error. Can't we just explain that?" asked Lieutenant Rivera, the youngest member of the team. Dr. Chen shook her head. "Their culture is built on formal speech patterns. Words have power here beyond their meaning." So I accidentally proposed marriage to an alien princess, Alex said, dropping onto a seat that molded to his body. And now we're prisoners. Diplomatic guests, corrected Dr. Chen. But yes. A section of wall suddenly slid open. Everyone jumped to their feet as Princess Kalara entered alone. In the smaller room, they could see her clearly, tall and graceful with golden skin that seemed to shimmer from within. Her 3 eyes moved independently, scanning each human before settling on Alex. "You have caused quite a problem, Commander," she said. Her translator made her voice sound musical in English. Alex stepped forward. "Princess, I must apologize for the misunderstanding. I had no intention." She raised one of her 4 hands. "Your intention matters little. What matters is what happens now." The princess moved closer, studying Alex with obvious curiosity. "Either you are a royal impostor who must be punished, or you are truly of royal blood from Earth, in which case the proposal is valid." "I'm not royalty," Alex said firmly. "Earth doesn't have kings and queens like you do." The princess tilted her head. "Yet you led your delegation. You spoke for your people." "That's different. I was chosen because of my skills, not my birth." "Interesting." One of her eyes blinked while the others remained fixed on him. "My cousin, Prince Drovic, believes you should be executed for the insult." The humans exchanged worried glances. "However," she continued, "I see an opportunity." Princess Kalara moved to the center of the room. "My father's health fails. Soon I will take the throne, but Prince Drovic challenges my right to rule. Many noble houses support him." She turned all 3 eyes to Alex. "A foreign royal consort would strengthen my position considerably." Alex stared at her. "You want to go through with this marriage, but we just met." The princess made a sound like tinkling bells, her version of laughter. "Of course we wouldn't actually be mates. It would be a political arrangement only." "And if I refuse?" Alex asked. "Then you are an impostor who disrespected the royal family. The punishment is severe." Her expression softened slightly. "And your planet loses any chance of alliance with the Zithrian Empire." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Commander, she's offering us a way out." Alex studied the alien princess. "If I agree, what happens to my team?" "To relations with Earth. Your people would receive favored status. Technology exchanges, protection, trade." She extended one slender hand. Earth would gain a powerful ally. Alex looked at his team members, who nodded with varying degrees of enthusiasm. "And this would be temporary?" he asked. The princess's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. "Until I secure my throne. Then we could reconsider our arrangement." Alex took a deep breath. Humanity's first alien alliance now depended on a fake marriage to a 3-eyed, 4-armed alien princess. "Okay," he said finally. "I accept your proposal, Princess Kalara." She extended 2 of her hands, which Alex awkwardly shook. "Tomorrow," she said, "your royal training begins." As she left through the sliding wall panel, Alex turned to his team. "I just agreed to marry an alien princess to prevent an interstellar incident." Dr. Chen patted his shoulder. "For what it's worth, Commander, I think you'll make a lovely couple." "No, Commander. The 3rd hand must be positioned higher than the 2nd, but lower than the 4th." The royal instructor, Vizik, sounded frustrated. Alex struggled to hold the heavy ceremonial staff with his 2 human hands while trying to understand instructions meant for someone with 4 arms. "I only have 2 arms," Alex reminded him for the 10th time that day. "Maybe we could adapt the ceremony." Vizak looked shocked. "Adapt a ritual unchanged for 12,000 years? Impossible." It had been 5 days since Alex was separated from his team and moved to the royal wing of the palace. Each day was filled with lessons on Zithrian culture, royal protocols, and physical training that left him exhausted. The gravity on the Zithrian homeworld was slightly stronger than Earth's, making every movement more difficult. The air was thinner too, leaving Alex constantly short of breath. "Perhaps we take break." Alex suggested in basic Zithrian, another skill he was struggling to master. Vizek sighed with all three of his breathing holes. Very well. His royal almost consort requires rest. Again. As the instructor left, Princess Kalara entered the training room. She wore simpler robes today, her golden skin glowing under the blue lights. You look tired, she observed. Alex nodded. Everything here is designed for someone taller, stronger, with twice as many arms. To his surprise, the princess laughed. Yet you've learned more in 5 days than most Zithrians would in a month. I have to, Alex said. My planet's future depends on me not embarrassing myself. Kalara moved closer, examining him with her central eye, while the other two scanned the room. You adapt quickly. It's unexpected. Humans are good at adapting, Alex said. He demonstrated a modified bow he had created that allowed him to show proper respect with only 2 arms. The princess's eyes widened. You developed this yourself. Alex nodded. I figured if I can't grow 2 more arms, I needed to find another way. Fascinating. Most species would simply fail and accept their limitations. Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion in the hallway. Prince Drovik swept into the room, followed by guards. Taller than Kalara with purple-tinted skin, he radiated hostility. Cousin, he addressed the princess without looking at Alex. I've been investigating your human royal. There are no records of human royalty in our database. Our knowledge of Earth is limited, Kalara replied calmly. Or perhaps he is a fraud. Drovik hissed, finally turning his 3 eyes to Alex. I demand blood verification. Alex tensed. Blood tests would reveal he had no royal heritage. Before Kalara could respond, a small device flew through the window, landing near them. Alex recognized it instantly, an explosive, similar to those used in mining operations. Without thinking, Alex lunged forward, pushing both aliens away from the device. He grabbed it and threw it back through the window just as it exploded in midair. The blast knocked them all to the floor. Alex recovered first, pulling Kalara behind a pillar as more explosions shook the palace. Are you hurt? He asked, checking her for injuries. Drovik stared at them from across the room. Impossible. Your reflexes. Human. Kalara said simply, her 3 eyes fixed on Alex with new respect. You saved my life. Alex helped her to her feet as guards rushed in. The attackers were aiming for you, not me, he said quietly. That night, alone in his quarters, Alex received a message from the princess. Perhaps having a human consort will be more valuable than I thought. Commander Reeves has done what I. The Earth President's face on the video screen looked ready to explode. Dr. Chen tried to explain the situation again to the emergency council meeting. He's engaged to Princess Kalara to prevent an interstellar incident and secure our alliance with the Zithrian Empire. Far away on Earth, governments were in chaos. Some wanted to recall the mission immediately. Others saw an opportunity to gain alien technology. Meanwhile, in the royal palace, Alex sat beside Princess Kalara as she met with her advisors. After 2 weeks of training, he understood enough Zithrian to follow most conversations. The southern provinces refuse to recognize your claim to the throne, said an older Zithrian with faded silver skin. They support Prince Droth. Kalara's hands tightened on her seat. They always have. We need to convince the Central Worlds to join us. Alex listened carefully. Politics was politics, even among aliens. When everyone had spoken, Kalara turned to him. What would Earth do in this situation? All eyes turned to Alex. This was his chance to prove his value beyond the marriage arrangement. On Earth, we sometimes use something called bluffing. Alex explained. Make your opponents think you have more support than you actually do. The Zithrians looked confused. Their third eyes blinked rapidly. Deception, one advisor asked, sounding shocked. That would be dishonorable. Not deception exactly, Alex clarified. Strategic information management. For example, announce that 3 neutral provinces support you, without saying which ones. Your enemies will waste time investigating all neutral territories. Kalara considered this an unusual approach. Zithrians prefer directness. That's why it would surprise them. Alex said, the unexpected gives you advantage. To Alex's surprise, Kalara implemented his strategy. Within days, Prince Drovik's supporters were scrambling to counter Phantom alliances, while Kalara secured actual support from previously hesitant provinces. Your human methods are strangely effective, Kalara told Alex one evening as they walked in the royal gardens. Drovik doesn't know how to respond. Humans are unpredictable, Alex said with a smile. It's our specialty. Their conversation was interrupted when Prince Drovik himself appeared with his guards. Cousin, he addressed Kalara, ignoring Alex completely. Your human claims royal blood, yet provides no proof of his lineage. Alex stepped forward. I come from a hidden royal line of Earth, preserved after ancient Zithrian visitors established outposts on our world. It was a complete fabrication, but Alex had studied enough Zithrian history to make it sound plausible. Our ancestors visited many worlds, he continued confidently. Some royal children were left behind on Earth for safety during the Great Conjunction. My family has preserved the bloodline in secret for generations. Drovik's 3 eyes narrowed. You expect us to believe this tale? Verify it yourself, Alex challenged, knowing the prince had no way to disprove his story. The records would be in the ancient archives, sealed since the 3rd dynasty. Drovik hesitated, then stormed away without another word. That was brilliant, Kalara said when they were alone. The archives were partially destroyed centuries ago. No one can verify or disprove your claim. Alex shrugged. Like I said, humans are good at improvising. Kalara studied him with all 3 eyes. Your species is more complex than our intelligence suggested. Perhaps this alliance will benefit Zithria in ways I never anticipated. I don't understand this dancing concept, said Vizek, the royal instructor. He watched the video from Earth with all 3 eyes narrowed in confusion. Why would 2 beings move together in such a way? The wedding date was now only 3 weeks away. Alex had convinced Kalara to allow his human team to help plan the ceremony. Dancing is how humans celebrate important events, explained Dr. Chen. It's traditional at weddings. But Zithrians cannot move like this, Vizek protested, pointing at the waltz being demonstrated. Our joints bend differently, and we have 4 arms. Alex stepped forward with an idea. Then we'll create new dances that work for both species. For the next several days, the humans worked with Zithrian movement specialists to develop hybrid ceremonies. They created new dance forms that accounted for the aliens' different body structure and extra limbs. When they demonstrated the results to the royal court, the Zithrians were fascinated. Soon, many nobles were practicing the new movements, and human fever began spreading through the capital city. Your Earth customs are becoming quite popular, Kalara told Alex as they reviewed wedding plans in her private study. The public seems excited about our union. Alex smiled. That's good for your political position, right? Very good, she agreed. Drovik is losing support daily. As they spent more time together planning the wedding, Alex noticed he was enjoying Kalara's company more than expected. She was intelligent, thoughtful, and had a sense of humor he hadn't initially recognized. One evening, while discussing the ceremony, Alex suddenly felt dizzy. The room spun around him, and he collapsed to the floor. Alex, Kalara called out, using his first name instead of his title for the first time. Palace doctors diagnosed him with an infection from an alien microbe. His human immune system had no defense against it. For 3 days, Alex fought a high fever as doctors worked to create a treatment. Despite royal protocol forbidding it, Kalara refused to leave his side. She sat by his bed, monitoring his condition personally. You must rest, Your Highness, urged her advisors. I will not abandon him, she insisted. When Alex finally awoke, Feeling weak but recovered, he found the princess asleep in a chair beside his bed, all three eyes closed. "She has not left this room in 3 days," whispered Dr. Chen, who had been allowed to help with his treatment. "The whole palace is talking about it." Rumors spread quickly about the princess's devotion to her human fiancé. Many who had doubted their relationship began to believe it might be genuine. As Alex recovered his strength, he realized his feelings for Kelara had also changed. What had begun as a political arrangement was becoming something neither of them had expected. "You worried me," Kelara told him when they were alone. "I didn't think you'd care so much," Alex admitted. The princess's golden skin flushed a deeper color. "Neither did I." She took his hand awkwardly with two of hers, an intimate gesture in Zithrian culture. "Our arrangement has become complicated," she said softly. Alex nodded. "Very complicated." Outside the palace, preparations for the royal wedding continued. Inside, both human and alien were discovering that their differences might not be as important as they once thought. "What is this place?" Alex asked as he followed Kelara down a narrow corridor. With only 2 weeks until their wedding, they were touring ancient parts of the palace for a special pre-wedding ritual. "The Hall of Ancestors," Kelara explained. "All royal couples must visit to receive blessing from those who came before." The walls around them were covered in detailed murals showing Zithrian history. Alex stopped suddenly when he noticed something strange. "Kelara, look at this." He pointed to a section of wall showing Zithrians standing on a blue and green planet. "Is that Earth?" Kelara examined the mural with all three eyes. "It appears to be, but that's impossible. According to our records, we only discovered Earth recently." Alex moved closer, studying the images. The mural clearly showed Zithrians interacting with primitive humans. Some scenes depicted them teaching early humans to build structures and plant crops. "Your people have been to Earth before," Alex whispered. "A long time ago." His mind raced with possibilities. Ancient monuments on Earth that scientists couldn't explain. Stories in human mythology about beings from the sky. "We need to check the archives," Kelara said, her voice urgent. They slipped away from their guards and made their way to the sealed archives beneath the palace. Using her royal access, Kelara led Alex into a vast room filled with glowing crystal data storage. "If there are records about early contact with Earth, they would be here," she said. For hours, they searched through ancient files. Finally, Alex found something, a sealed record from thousands of years ago. "I can't open this," Kelara said, frustrated. "It requires royal blood verification." Alex touched the panel out of curiosity, and to their shock, it glowed and opened. "How did you?" Kelara stared at him. Inside were detailed records confirming what the mural suggested. Millennia ago, the Zithrian Empire had included Earth as one of its territories. Zithrian visitors had helped early humans develop, teaching them agriculture and building techniques. But then came a catastrophic war. The Empire was forced to abandon its distant outposts, including Earth. All records of its location were erased to protect the developing humans from enemy species. Most shocking of all was the final revelation. Some Zithrians had remained on Earth, interbreeding with humans over generations. Their descendants, including Alex, carried traces of royal Zithrian DNA. "That's why your proposal was accepted by our protocols," Kelara whispered. "You really do have royal blood." Alex sat down, overwhelmed. "So our engagement isn't based on a mistake after all." Kelara took his hands in hers. "No, it's based on something much more ancient. Our peoples are connected." As they processed this world-changing information, a noise at the entrance made them both turn. Guards loyal to Prince Drovik surrounded the archive room. "How convenient to find you both here," came Drovik's voice as he stepped forward. "Away from your protectors and surrounded by proof that would threaten everything I've worked for." His guards raised their weapons. "No one can leave this room with knowledge of what you've discovered," Drovik said coldly. "The throne will be mine, and the truth of our shared history will die with you." This way, Alex grabbed Kaylura's hand and pulled her behind a tall data storage unit as Drovik's guards fired energy weapons at them. "There's no exit except the main door," Kaylura whispered, her golden skin pale with fear. Alex looked around quickly. His human eyes spotted something the Zithrians had missed, a small maintenance panel near the floor. "There," he pointed, "maintenance tunnels. Can we get through?" They crawled to the panel while lasers burned the air above them. Alex pried it open with strength born of desperation. "You go first," he told Kaylura. The opening was tight even for a human. For a taller Zithrian, it would be a painful squeeze. Kaylura hesitated. "I'm not sure I can fit." "You can," Alex insisted. "Fold your lower arms against your body." With effort, the princess squeezed through the opening. Alex followed just as guards discovered their hiding place. The maintenance tunnels were ancient, dusty passages designed for worker drones to access the building's systems. They were cramped. Alex had to crawl, while Kaylura was forced to bend almost double, her forearms tucked awkwardly against her body. "These tunnels run throughout the palace," Kaylura whispered, "but I've never used them before." "Which way to the Earth delegation's quarters?" Alex asked. They needed to reach his team and their communication equipment. They moved through the dark tunnels, hearing guards searching behind them. The cramped space worked to their advantage. The larger Zithrian guards had even more trouble navigating than Kaylura. After 20 minutes of painful crawling, they reached a junction where several tunnels met. Suddenly, voices echoed from ahead. "They're surrounding us," Kaylura said, her 3 eyes wide with fear. Alex noticed cleaning supplies stored in a small alcove, chemicals used by maintenance drones. An idea formed in his mind. "Do these chemicals react with each other?" he asked, grabbing 2 containers. Kaylura looked confused. "I don't understand." "On Earth, some cleaning chemicals create smoke or gas when mixed," Alex explained quickly. "We need a diversion." Understanding dawned in Kaylura's eyes. "Yes, the blue liquid and the green powder are highly reactive, but how does that help?" Alex opened both containers and mixed them in a third empty bucket he found. The mixture began bubbling immediately. "Stay low and cover your breathing holes," he instructed as he pushed the bucket toward the junction where guards were approaching. Within seconds, thick purple smoke filled the tunnels. Confused shouts and coughing echoed around them as the guards were caught in the cloud. "Now." Alex grabbed Kaylura's hand, and they ran through a side tunnel, the smoke providing perfect cover. "Brilliant," Kaylura said between coughs. "No Zithrian would think to use cleaning supplies as weapons. We're too dependent on technology." They finally reached a section Alex recognized near the Earth delegation's quarters. Using his strength, he pushed open another maintenance panel, and they tumbled into the room where his team waited. "Commander," Dr. Chen jumped up in surprise. "The palace is in lockdown. What's happening?" "No time to explain," Alex said. "We've discovered something huge about Earth and Zithria. We need to broadcast it before Drovik kills us to keep it secret." Lieutenant Rivera pulled back a panel revealing modified Earth communication equipment. "We've been working on this since you left. It can broadcast across the entire empire if needed." "Perfect," Alex said, helping Kaylura to her feet. "Let's tell everyone the truth. Broadcasting to the entire empire will take time," Lieutenant Rivera said, working quickly on the communication equipment. "Drovik's forces will find us before we finish." Alex nodded, thinking fast. "Then we need to buy time. And we need to be smarter than them." "Direct confrontation won't work," Kaylura said. "Drovik controls most of the military now." Alex smiled. "Then we won't confront them directly. We'll use another human approach: propaganda." Over the next hour, they created a plan. Instead of one big broadcast that could be stopped, they would send many small messages across the empire. Each message would plant seeds of doubt about Drovik. Dr. Chen helped craft the messages. "On Earth, we call this social engineering. We don't attack Drovik directly. We just ask questions that make people think. Why does Prince Drovik fear ancient history? One message asked. What is hidden in the royal archives that the public cannot know? Said another. They sent these through the palace communication system to nobles, military leaders, and ordinary citizens across the empire. Zithrians aren't used to this kind of information warfare, Kaylura explained to Alex's team. We value direct truth. These questions will disturb many people. Meanwhile, Alex worked with Kaylura to contact her supporters secretly. Many nobles who had stayed neutral now reached out, curious about the mysterious messages spreading through the empire. We need to unite these factions around you, Alex told Kaylura. Show them you're the leader Zithria needs. 2 days later, Drovik sent a message offering peace talks. He would meet Kaylura and Alex at the Grand Temple, a neutral location where violence was forbidden. It's a trap, Alex said immediately. Kaylura looked surprised. How can you be sure? The temple is sacred ground. Because it's what I would do in his position, Alex explained. Pretend to offer peace while planning an ambush. The other humans nodded in agreement. For Zithrians, breaking sacred laws was unthinkable. But humans understood that desperate people often broke their own rules. So we refuse his offer? Kaylura asked. No, Alex said with a smile. We accept, but we set our own trap. They arrived at the Grand Temple the next day, seemingly with just a small group of guards. Drovik was waiting with his advisors, looking confident. Cousin, he greeted Kaylura coldly. I'm glad you've finally seen reason. As they began discussions, Alex watched carefully for signs of betrayal. He didn't have to wait long. When Drovik gave a signal to his guards, Alex was ready. Now, he shouted. From hidden positions around the temple, Kaylura's loyal forces emerged. They had anticipated Drovik's betrayal and positioned themselves first. Trapped in his own ambush, Drovik was furious. How did you know? Humans understand deception, Alex said simply. We've had to survive by predicting it. As Drovik and his guards were surrounded, Kaylura turned to Alex with new respect. Your species' ability to anticipate betrayal is remarkable, she said. We never developed this skill because of our telepathic connection with each other. Different evolutionary paths, Alex replied. Sometimes being more primitive has its advantages. With Drovik detained, they could finally prepare for the empire-wide broadcast that would reveal the truth about Earth and Zithria's shared history. And perhaps, Alex thought as he looked at Kaylura, reveal some truths about his own feelings as well. The day of the royal wedding arrived. The capital city was decorated with both Zithrian crystal flowers and earth roses, symbolizing the union of two worlds. Alex stood in his ceremonial robes, a blend of human and Zithrian designs. A special translator was embedded in his collar, ensuring every word would be understood perfectly this time. Nervous? Asked Dr. Chen as she adjusted his collar. About getting married to an alien princess, or about the fact that Drovik's followers might attack at any moment. Alex replied with a smile. Despite Drovik's capture, his most loyal supporters remained free. Kaylura's intelligence suggested they planned something during the ceremony, when security would be stretched thin with so many guests. Just remember the plan, Dr. Chen said. We've prepared for every possibility. The ceremony began with Alex walking through the grand hall. Thousands of Zithrians watched in person, while millions more viewed through broadcasts across the empire. Earth officials watched too, still amazed by how their diplomatic mission had transformed. Princess Kaylura entered, her golden skin radiant against ceremonial robes of deep blue. Alex's breath caught. She was truly beautiful, even by human standards. Their eyes met, and Alex realized his feelings were no longer just part of their political arrangement. As the ceremony reached its midpoint, the chief priest presented the ancient royal artifacts, a crystal scepter and a silver circlet. According to tradition, these symbols of power would join the royal couple. Just as the priest began the binding words, Explosions rocked the outer doors. Armed soldiers loyal to Drovik stormed into the hall. "The princess dies today," shouted their leader. "The throne belongs to Prince Drovik." Chaos erupted as guests fled and royal guards moved to protect Kalara. Alex acted instantly, grabbing the ceremonial scepter from the altar. "What are you doing?" gasped the priest. "That is a sacred symbol." But Alex had noticed something during his training that the Zithrians had forgotten. The ceremonial scepter was actually an ancient weapon. He twisted its handle, and the crystal began to glow with energy. "Sometimes old tools have practical uses," Alex said, firing the weapon at the attackers. The battle spread throughout the hall. Kalara fought beside Alex, using her royal training and 4 arms to great advantage. Together they pushed toward the leader of the attack. Suddenly, Prince Drovik himself appeared, having escaped his captivity. He raised a weapon aimed directly at Alex. "Your human tricks end today," he snarled. Kalara saw the danger and threw herself in front of Alex. The energy blast hit her shoulder, sending her crashing to the floor. Something snapped inside Alex. With a roar that startled even the hardened Zithrian warriors, he charged at Drovik, his face transformed by fury. Alex moved with such speed and intensity that several attackers backed away in fear. He reached Drovik and disarmed him with a combat move the prince had never seen. Within moments, Drovik was pinned to the ground, Alex's ceremonial dagger at his throat. "Surrender," Alex growled, "or I'll show you how humans dealt with traitors in our ancient times." The sight of a human defending an alien princess with such passion silenced the entire hall. One by one, Drovik's supporters lowered their weapons. As royal guards secured the prisoners, Alex rushed back to Kalara. Her wound was painful but not fatal. "The ceremony," she whispered. "We must complete it. The people need to see us united." And so, with Kalara supported by Alex's arm, they returned to the altar where the shaken priest waited. "Do you take Princess Kalara as your wife?" the priest asked Alex. Looking into her 3 eyes, Alex nodded. "I do. Not for politics, not for alliance, but for her." Kalara's golden skin glowed with emotion. "And I take you, Alex of Earth, as my husband, not because of ancient blood, but because you have shown me what courage truly means." 1 year later, Alex stood beside Empress Kalara as they welcomed a delegation from the Proxima system. The throne room was filled with both Zithrian nobles and human diplomats from Earth. Much had changed in a year. After their wedding and Drovik's defeat, Kalara had become empress with Alex as her royal consort. The revelation of the genetic connection between humans and Zithrians had transformed both societies. "It's remarkable how much has been accomplished," Dr. Chen whispered to Alex before the ceremony began. She now served as Earth's official ambassador to the Zithrian Empire. Alex nodded in agreement. Exchange programs had brought the best minds from both worlds together. Earth's creativity combined with Zithrian technology had already produced medical breakthroughs and new energy sources. "We complement each other," Alex said. "Their stability and our adaptability make a powerful combination." The doors opened, and representatives from 7 alien civilizations entered the throne room. Most were longtime allies of Zithria, but one group, the Vorlani, were known for their hostility toward lesser species. The formal introductions proceeded smoothly until the Vorlani ambassador stepped forward. Tall and gray-skinned with 4 eyes, he looked at Alex with obvious contempt. "The mighty Zithrian Empire now takes breeding advice from primates," he said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "How disappointing to see such a noble species pollute itself with human influence." The room went silent. Such an insult during a formal reception was unheard of. The Zithrian guards tensed, ready for Empress Kalara's command. Before anyone could react, Kalara stepped down from her throne. The entire court watched in shock as she approached the Vorlani ambassador directly, something no Zithrian ruler had ever done. "You underestimate what makes humans special," she declared, her voice echoing through the hall. "I once asked in shock, You're making me your wife. Now I understand it was the best thing that could have happened to our empire. The Vorlani ambassador stepped back, surprised by her directness, a human trait the Empress had adopted. Your primitive allies will bring your downfall, he warned. Kalara smiled. On the contrary, they have already brought our renaissance. Later, when the diplomats had departed and they were alone, Alex turned to his wife. That was unexpected, he said. A Zithrian ruler would normally have sent the ambassador away rather than confront him directly. Kalara took his hand with two of hers, on learning that sometimes the human approach is more effective. She led him to the window overlooking the capital city. New buildings combining Zithrian crystal technology with human-inspired designs glittered in the evening light. Transport pods moved alongside Earth-style parks where children from both worlds played together. I have something to tell you, Kalara said softly. She guided his hand to rest on her abdomen. The doctors confirmed it yesterday. They said it was genetically impossible, but Alex's eyes widened. You're pregnant. But the scientists said our species couldn't. Your species refuses to accept limitations, she finished with a smile. That's why the universe will never be the same now that humanity has joined the galactic community. As they looked out over the changing city, Alex thought about the unlikely journey that had brought him here, from an accidental proposal to becoming the bridge between two civilizations. Perhaps the greatest human quality, he realized, wasn't technology or strength, but our ability to build connections, even across the stars.